Episode 1, The Forbidden Genesis. The story opens in a hidden chamber in the capital of Grimland. King Arch Reaper Markle, cornered by Archon Silas, performs a final desperate sacrifice, forging the chaotic, newborn entity Grim Kid just before his capture. With his last bit of energy, King Arch implants a single command: seek the Shadow Well. Unleash the Scythe. Grim Kid emerges as a terrifying blank slate of raw entropy. He knows nothing, but is driven by that sole command. He immediately experiences the hostile, occupied world, and in his confusion and terror, causes accidental, localized reality collapses, barely managing a primal escape from the Ascended. Episode 2, The Logic of Survival. Lost and completely alone in the war-torn landscapes of Grimland, Grim Kid's unstable emotions continually trigger destructive bursts of entropy. He is forced to learn existence from scratch. He observes the world and begins to mimic the patterns of survival, the flow of energy, the stillness of shadows, to gain control over his physical form and his power. His survival is a painful process of instinctual, immediate learning, allowing him to pass through a major Ascended checkpoint disguised as background spiritual static. Part 2, Maturation and Mission. Episode 3, The Broken Language of Souls. As he continues his journey, Grim Kid's raw power involuntarily taps into the spiritual essence of the stolen souls that permeate Grimland, the human core of the conflict. He is overwhelmed by a traumatic rush of human memories, grief, and spiritual anguish. This agonizing psychic exposure accelerates his spiritual maturation, giving him a first-hand, painful understanding of the emotional devastation his father caused and why the humans seek vengeance. He gains the ability to instinctively perceive and navigate Grimland's spiritual energy fields. Episode 4, The Hunter's Lesson. Archon Silas deploys a specialized human hunter, technologically augmented to track the Reaper's power signature. The chase that ensues forces Grim Kid into strategic combat. He learns that his entropy responds to calculated necessity rather than blind emotional fury, using surgical, minimal bursts to disable the hunter's technology without completely destroying the operative. This confrontation is his first lesson in calculated precision and control. Episode 5, The Weight of Grief. Grim Kid discovers a massive, decaying monument, a spiritual scar on Grimland's landscape left by King Arch's mistake. Here, the spiritual echo of the stolen souls is at its most potent. This profound exposure to loss forces him to reconcile with his human half, realizing the war is not just a battle for power, but a deep moral quest to correct the spiritual injustice and restore balance to the cosmos. Episode 6, The Loyal Betrayal. Grim Kid is ambushed by a surviving Grim Reaper lieutenant, who views the Nephilim air as an unstable contaminant. The lieutenant attempts to seize control of the naive entity, trying to philosophically and psychically rewrite the King's command into a mission for pure Reaper dominance. This forces Grim Kid into a brutal internal conflict, where he fights to maintain his self-autonomy and the integrity of his father's final, crucial directive.